The Holy Man, Chapter 21. Shirker. Among the monks there was a shirker. It was the poet Ed. He showed up for chores late and left early. He always took the easiest job, grumbled while he worked, and did it in an unsatisfactory way, so it often had to be redone by one of the others. When it was his turn to go to town for supplies, he never made the trip in one day, but took 2 days, thereby missing 2 days of chores and having a night on the town as well. Mostly he tried to get out of going to town. One day it was his turn to go to town, and he said he had a headache. He couldn't go. The headache also precluded his doing his chores. He was coming down with something. That evening, when the monks met in the common room, they discussed Ed's headache, trying and failing to be charitable. All of them were dubious about his illness, except for Helena, who believed him. "He is really quite miserable," she said. "He's sick as a dog." They considered whether one of them should take his place going for supplies, but they were disinclined to do so. "Let's wait him out," said Henry. "We can just eat rice and beans until he gets well." "If he's plain sick, why should we suffer?" said Daniel the dancer. "Why not go down the hill and get the fruit and vegetables, but not let the Malinger have any?" "That's mean," said Helena. "If he's so sick, he needs a proper diet. He needs vitamins." "If is the key word," said Henry dryly. "Let's ask Joe what to do." They sought out the holy man, who was sitting in his room thinking. He did not always join them in the evening, sometimes choosing not to break his silence. The bedrooms were on the second floor, simply furnished with a single bed, a bureau, a bookshelf, a closet, a wooden chair. Joe was sitting in his chair, and it somehow seemed to the monks a beautiful sight. Sometimes when they had gone a day or even a few nights without seeing him, and came upon him unexpectedly, or, like now, expectedly, he took their breath away. The holy man listened to the problem and told them he would talk to Ed. He went to Ed's room and sat at the end of his bed, looking at the poet, who lay with his eyes closed, but did not appear to be sleeping. Ed opened one eye, saw Joe, and groaned. It was quite a good groan, but not that good. In fact, Ed had the grace to blush at his groan, but it would take a sharp eye to detect the blush, a mother's eye, which Joe had. Then Ed actually had the temerity to croak, "Water!" "This is a very sad case," Joe said. "A downed poet, a poet unable to contribute to the community any longer, or live in harmony with us, a poet who, in fact, is causing a schism in the community, breaking it into a pro-Ed camp and an anti-Ed camp. The pro-Ed being a very small camp indeed, by the way." Ed stirred uncomfortably and did not repeat his request for water. "I am always careful to invite to my hermitage those persons I believe to have their feet upon the path, but it seems this time I have chosen a troublemaker whose feet are, most of the time, upon the bed. I shall have to ask you to go." This was very shocking to Ed. It was very unlike the kindly holy man to be so firm, to be so, as it sounded to Ed in the weakened state he imagined himself to be, brutal. It scared him so much he began to shake, as if with the ague, and therefore to begin to believe himself truly sick. "I can't go. I'm too sick. I think I'm dying." He groaned a real groan, and his body continued to shiver. Ed actually would rather die than be tossed out of the hermitage, where he had spent the happiest and most fruitful days of his life. What a fool he had been to let his native laziness jeopardize his stay here. Joe, seeing the dramatic emotional reaction Ed was having to his words, said, "I have never claimed to be a healer, but I think I will try it right now. It's possible that I can heal. I wouldn't be at all surprised." Joe stood up, took a deep breath, gazed at Ed, and said loudly, "Poet, stand up and be well." As he spoke the words, he simultaneously grabbed hold of the poet, dragged him from the bed, and stood him on his feet, giving him something very like a box on the ears while he was at it. "It worked," said the holy man happily. "I am a healer." Ed had to laugh. "You're right. I'm healed. You look like a new man." "I am," said Ed, still laughing. "I feel wonderful." "It's amazing." "Joe, I am so much better mentally, emotionally, and physically that I don't think you'll ever have trouble with me again. If you will please just give me one more chance." "Of course I will," said the holy man. "In return, I must ask you to tell no one of these fabulous healing capabilities I've discovered. I would not want the world to think I can produce miracles." However, the others, seeing Ed toiling so robustly, efficiently, and good-heartedly from then on, told each other it was one.